So it's been brought to my attention recently about the announcements for the new video game systems that are coming out. You know, the next Xbox, the next PS3, but especially with the new Xbox. The new Xbox won't play used games, and you need the internet for it to work. Like not even like for DLC or playing online, just like a simple one-player game, that's it. You have to have the internet for it to work. I don't see the logic with this. I don't understand what they're trying to do. I mean, like, are they trying to get more money out of us? Like, I don't know. It's strange because I'll tell you right now, like, this is a big thing because I know people are like, well, you know, you can get this, that, and everything, but it's not the point. Like with DLC, you know, like all these games, not being able to play used games, and you know, it can only be used once, or if you're doing download digitals, even those things run out at one point. So what I'm trying to say is, like, would you buy the new Xbox? Would you, if this was the deal? Like, if you couldn't play used games on it, or the game you get is specifically just for that system, and you can't do anything else with it? Because as a kid growing up in the 80s and 90s, this is what me and all my friends did. We went to each other's houses and we traded each other's video games to play them on different systems. So if we liked them enough, we could go buy them. Now, granted, consoles have changed since like Nintendo and Super Nintendo days. You know, the Xbox made things global. You could play online, and that was fine. But this is what happens. You have, like, people were still playing Halo 1 and Halo 2. They were still playing these for a long time on the Xbox. This was pretty much like what began online gaming, really, was Halo. Now, it goes on. Halo 1 and 2 are being played. Then on the 360, you could finally you could do those online. Everything. Well, Halo 2 you could play online, but then they shut down the servers. They shut them down. And I think Halo 3 servers are shut down too. Now, I really do not believe that nobody plays them online anymore. I firmly believe that they play these online. So this is just like complete and utter bullshit. Now, it is just a rumor, but unfortunately rumors also have a bad way of turning into truth. Like, it's what these game companies do. They're multi-billion-dollar companies, and yet you're screwing over everybody. You're trying to take control of the whole global market of how things are supposed to be done. And having, you know, because in this day and age, not everybody has $60 to drop on a new game or what have you, or if like people are playing a new game in a series and they don't know where the original series came from. You know, you're saying that these systems won't play it? That doesn't make sense. Why would you do that? Because the way this is going, I don't want a next-gen system because, I mean, they kind of eliminated it. Like, once it became obsolete or they felt that it wasn't making them enough money, they took those things away. And so if you can't use used games, what about those games that don't sell well at the beginning but in 5 years become like a sleeper hit? You know, what do you call it there? Like a cult classic game. What happens when that happens? What happens when you can't go out to a store and buy them and play them on that system because they were used? And like, you might as well just be, you know, like winging them out and everything and use them for target practice or whatever. Because I'll tell you, if that's what this is going to be, if we're going to get these systems that where we can't do that kind of stuff, then I'm going back to the old days. I'm going back to like Dreamcast, Super Nintendo, all that stuff. Because I'll tell you one thing, these were the games that really made the difference. Anything. You got a game and it was bad, it was bad. There was no patch, there was no DLC, no nothing. The fact of it is, we're already getting like $60 for a game for PS3 and 360, that's a lot. And Microsoft has a lot of balls still charging $60 for a failing system. I'm sorry, it is. It's a failing system, so this is what I have been researching and looking up about. Again, it's just rumors, but the way Microsoft works, it could happen. And even the PlayStation might do this. Not having used games. You know, like, I get like that these companies don't get the money. Like, people buy the game new, then it goes to a place like GameStop or Play and Trade or smaller video games, used video game stores and everything. But those are the things that make gaming fun. Like, you know, not a lot of people do. Even like parents who are buying games for kids, they don't have the money to drop on like $60. It's going to more important things. But if they don't want to disappoint their kids, because like I said, in this day and age, money is harder to get, times are tougher. Like two-income family is not enough at times. They're sharing one car. It's ridiculous. So, you know, if you go out and buy a game and stuff like that, that's like $60 new, but you can get it like for less or something, or find it online. Somebody beat it within 2 days and are selling it for $40 because they know they ain't gonna get that back from a used game store or anything like that, then that's what they do, and it should still work. And like I said, it just bothers me because I've lived in the generation leap for video games. A lot of us have. So it's very interesting to see like what these companies keep trying to do, how much money they keep trying to suck out of us, because they're already getting $60 for a game. DLC comes out, they charge $10 for that. They charge $20 for this map pack. More characters, more customizations, that kind of thing. Now, in a way, that is cool, but a lot of us also agree that it is severely overpriced. So, you're telling me that these discs that you make, that are coming out, we can only use them once on that system. And that's it. Or if we just do digital downloads, which, to me, doing a digital download is pointless because, as you can see, right from here and down here and everything like that, I'm a collector. There are people who still collect these things. Because what happens when these servers crash, or they're down, or they get hacked, or whatever? You can't play these games. You won't be able to play them. So, because everybody remembers, you know, what happened with the PlayStation. You couldn't go online and everything, but some games you still could play. But, yeah, it was just, it's crazy that they're not thinking ahead about this and who they're really screwing over. They're going to put all these money into these new things, and they're not going to sell. It's not a good idea. It's going to drive people to go back to the older systems. That's what it's going to do in the end. So, to me, I mean, because what about those people who, you know, they might not be able to afford internet, or they live out in the middle of nowhere, or something like that. They live in an area where there's a bad connection. So you're telling me that the one game they want to play because they're bored or whatever, they can't now play because they don't have an internet connection, whereas Microsoft already screws you over for $60 a year? I mean, I'm sorry, like $60 a year, it doesn't seem like much, but to pay for it, I mean, I stopped using my Xbox for gaming long ago. Like, pretty much like everybody else in America, I use it for Netflix, or the other half of the gaming community uses it for Call of Duty, or maybe like the new Halo 4. But other than that, yeah, it's total fucking bullshit. You know, like the 360 had all these games, and then you walk into a used game store, and you find the game for the 360, and then you find it for the PS3. PS3 one's still relatively high, and the 360 one's all the way low. So, I'm telling you, it's better this way to have the used games. I get the companies aren't making the money, but they're already getting enough money from us as it is. It's not like we're completely pirating the game itself, and that's what this is all going to lead to. It's going to lead to more pirating of games. They'll find a way. They always do. They will find a way to do it, as they have in the past. And, yeah, it's going to be a freaking mess. So, you know, I mean, you're just going to either have people pirating, or you're going to have people going back to the older systems like I will most likely plan on doing, because the older games seem to be even better than the newer ones these days, because everybody's so wrapped up in graphics, blah, 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 all this stuff. And really, what's a new system going to do? We've had the longest run right now for a generation of consoles. Like the Wii, the PS3, and the 360, they've been around for a long time, longer than anybody else running a console. And to say that there's something better, it may look better, but is it going to be really like that much of an impact where you're going to be blown to the back of your seat while playing a game? So really think about this, because this is like where the future is really coming into play here. So I got another episode of the Rundown coming out most likely Friday night or Saturday about DLC games and disc-based games. A little history of it, and you know, a little talk. I got a friend of mine joining me for that, so stay tuned for that. But for now, let this all sink in. Are you going to be happy with just keep playing the PS3 and 360? Because at one point they'll stop making games for it. You know they will. They'll force you to buy the newer system and the newer games. So is that something you really want to do? Or the video game collection you've been collecting for the last 20 years, is that something else that you're going to stick with and just keep buying the older games? Because that's what it seems like a lot of people are going to end up having to do. Regardless, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. So sign off in the bottom, like the video, leave comments down below about this, because I want to know what everybody thinks. Leave them on Twitter for me as well, and hit the subscribe button, because this has been an interesting year so far with all the announcements. Plus, not even just about like the games, just about like all this like new system stuff coming out. So yeah, it's going to be a big year. So everybody stay tuned and let me know what you think. Send me ideas or what's going on, because I'll report on it and I'll give my honest opinion. So like I said, this is going to be interesting. So until then, see y'all next time.